What's up, guys? I've been working on something for the past few days. It's a little bit of a proof of concept involving a playbook editor for NCAA 06 college football on the PS2 using the emulator. I know a lot of people love this game. I am one that still plays it religiously. I know there's some other people out there that are like me in that regards. But one of the biggest things that's driven a lot of people crazy is that there's no playbook editor. And part of the reason is that the playbook design for the college football games in the 2005 to 2014 era is a little bit different than the Madden playbook designs were during that same time frame. The playbook file for NCAA football is one massive file, and all custom playbooks just pull data from that file without storing the actual plays. So I went about doing some research and testing some things out. And what I've created is a utility that will actually pull out the playbook file from the ISO file that you use in an emulator. And you can then edit that file and upload it back into the ISO to have custom plays. So there's some positives and negatives with it. I'm going to show you a little bit of how this works. So for starters, here's the actual utility right here. It's as simple as just a pretty straightforward, very rudimentary program. I did not spend tons of time with the looks and all that stuff, but let's say you need to get a playbook file out of your ISO file. So to do that, you're going to select an ISO, and all of mine are here. I've got a few. Here's my original. Let's go ahead and do it here, though. This is another original. It's the same one. We're going to load this up. All it needs is the file name here. And then it wants you to open it up in a hex editor of your choice. This is because I actually have no idea how to find what I'm looking for using a program. So we're going to use a hex editor of your choice. I end up using this one. This is one of my favorite ones. And then you go to open, file. Here it is right here. And it tells you the next step is to search for this string in there. And we'll do that under hex values. Search all. And it gives you two different hex offset keys here for where the, or hex address keys here, where they're found in the actual ISO file. I don't know that everyone's is the same as mine. So you may need to change these if necessary. I just auto default it to this in hopes that it makes it a little bit easier. Export the playbook. It'll ask you, where do you want to save it? I've already got one saved that I pulled out originally. We're going to overwrite it anyway. And it's successfully pulled it out. So how do you edit it? Well, now we have to open it. We're going to go back to where we just came from. That is my desktop. I put it here. And again, it doesn't look perfect because the data I've pulled from the playbook is all there. Obviously, it works in the game, but I didn't want to spend hours drawing out intricate, detailed play design. So it's kind of pulling the most basic information out and designing the plays around it. You can see if we boot up, I should have already had this ready. I apologize. If we boot up the actual game, speed up the load process here. I think I have my computer sound off, so you guys probably can't hear this, but that's fine. All right. When we actually go to practice mode, let's say, you can see that these are what the plays look like. We'll go to 4 wide trips, and you can see, looking at the all hooks here and the all hooks here, it almost pulls it up to look the exact same. The art display on my utility is a little bit lacking. That's not the purpose of this utility. The purpose is to allow you to edit it. The biggest downfall to this editor, and really the playbook design as a whole, is that you cannot just create your own plays. You can edit a play by taking routes from other plays that exist and adding them to a currently designed play. This left side is what's going to become your edited plays. This right side is the list of all the other ones. And right now I only have it designed to do offensive plays. The defensive ones is a little bit different, but most people have more fun designing offensive plays. For right now, that's what the test is. You can see there's different options. You can rename the play. You can rename a whole set if you want. You do not have the right to rename a formation, because that actually messes with the playbook a little bit more than you would think. But to show you an example of what it looks like, let's say that for this particular play, which is the 4 wide receiver trip set in ace formation, and it's the all hook play. For starters, let's say I just want to give it a new name. I'm going to call it JD's new play, and we're going to rename it that. And we're going to come up with some different routes. I don't want this guy to do a hook. I don't want any of these guys to do a hook. It's no longer an all hook play, right? So I want to find some different routes I like. Let's say I want to go to the shotgun formation, and I am a big fan of this particular route here. I'm going to select the 2, and I'm going to say, put this route, click the wrong one, sorry. Put this route here. And let's say I want my halfback to do this. So I'm going to have my halfback do that. And I want this wide receiver to do this play. And we'll take this one here. And you don't have to match position with position. You can do whatever you want. I mean, just to give you an example, I could have those two do the same. It does not have to be in the same spot or the same thing. But let's say we got this. This is now the play that I've created, JD's new play. I'm going to save this playbook. Now, unfortunately, we're not done yet. We need to upload it into an ISO. Now, I don't want to override my nice new, my original ISO that I have. So instead, I'm going to make a copy of this one, just so we have an idea. We'll call it new playbook. Okay, and that's going to be the one I use. Now I'm going to import a playbook. This time I'm going to go back to that one I just saved. I just saved this one right here. And it says that it's been successfully imported. But let's find out. In order to do this, you actually have to reboot the entire thing. I don't even have it on here right now, but you don't have to pull the whole thing out. You just need to boot the whole ISO. Okay, letting us load again. And we'll go to practice mode. I think I still have, let's go in here. All right, go to 4 wide receiver trips. And now you can see that this new play is actually in there. And it runs as expected. There's your play design as saw earlier. Doesn't mean it's a good play. and doesn't mean I'm any good at the game, but it did work as you saw. And I don't read these plays as well as some of the other people out there that I watch on YouTube do. Oops. So there's that. And it does work. Let's talk a little bit about what options this play editor actually has. It allows you to rename play or set, as you can see. It allows you to replace any route. If it's not an eligible receiving route, for example, okay, let's go to something where you're gonna have more run plays. Okay, so I'm gonna swap this. It's going to treat this like it's a passing route. The game may not understand that though. So your best bet is to replace running routes with running routes and passing routes with passing routes. But it does actually just change it to that. Means it doesn't mean it's going to work correctly in the game. There's going to be some trial and error that you're going to need as you test this stuff out. It also allows you to take a player that is a receiver and remove them from being a receiver or put them back. And a better example might be if I find a play where, here we go. So here's a play where this guy is not normally, the halfback is not normally a receiver. You can make him a receiver. You can also take someone who is not a receiver or who is a receiver already, remove them. They're still going to run the route that's already been designed. You'll have to add a different route. Let's say I want to switch this route over here. Now he's got a different route as a receiver. And instead I want to make the left tackle an eligible receiver. Now, obviously that is not realistic in a real life scenario. But again, we're not talking about that. We're just testing things out. It's going to give you a pop-up warning here. And it's going to say, there's no default receiver information found. Should you continue? If you click yes, this utility will select a previously eligible receiver slot to replace. So yes, let's go and do that. And you'll notice he'll pick up the square receiver. And we can now add a route for him. It's not going to be good. I'll show you how this will work in a second. We can place that route. He's now going to have that route. Be aware, sometimes this works well, sometimes it doesn't. You're really, the utility will do whatever you tell it to do. The in-game mechanics of it are at the mercy of you trying to keep some sort of realism. One thing to keep in mind is play action passes, for example. Those are dictated by the quarterback. So even if you remove a play action route from a halfback, the quarterback may still try to hand it off. So you'll need to replace a quarterback route with a quarterback route from a non-play action thing. All right, let's show you what this, which play is this, curl read. All right, let's save this again. And we already have that. Let's go ahead and you know, we're going to try something right here. Can I go ahead and import this while it's already in? I cannot remember. So we'll go back to. Okay, it said it did it, but I do know, if anything, I'm going to have to reboot it, though. That I do know. You have to have already tested that before. Okay, let's see if this works. Speed that up. And again, I don't think I've shared the computer volume with you. I hope I haven't, because this is really loud in my ear. I forgot to turn the volume down. Okay, game modes, practice. And this is 4 wide receiver trips, curl read. Okay, and what you'll notice here, for some reason, and I haven't figured out why yet, it still has a gray here. I've managed to figure it out for pretty much any position that was a receiver that is now no longer a receiver. I know how to get rid of this. I cannot figure out how to get the new receiver to show up on this screen. However, when you go to the actual game, it is there. Slow this down a little bit here. And he is now, in fact, an eligible receiver. I can't move him. Doesn't, the play design is not designed for him to move. So he is there, and I can pass to him. And, there's no way that in a real game situation, I would probably ever make that pass, or he would catch it. In practice mode, it's usually a little easier. It just looks kind of dumb to watch my left tackle running a route. And because he's an eligible receiver, I can certainly have him. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I can have him. Oh my gosh, Josh, seriously. Okay. I can have him do different route plays. And with him being on the line, when I hit R2, he'll go into a blocking play. Let's have him run a streak. Oh, there he goes. Anyway, just some stuff that I've been working on. I'm not sure if there's huge interest in this, but it's out there for those of you who are interested. Let me know. I'll try to find a way to release this and get this information and this utility out to you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that.